All right, I wanted to get feedback on something I've been working on. Basically, a one-page discipleship quick guide. I love discipleship. It's something that has kept me in ministry, even when it's hard. It's super fulfilling, always investing in somebody one-on-one. And so I realized, though, that a lot of times when I do discipleship, it's kind of like Dead Sea discipleship, like I'm investing in somebody, and that's good. The word is going out. It's accomplishing what it was set out to do. The word, I trust, will pierce to the division of soul and spirit and joints and marrow. So it will do something, but I'm not seeing the person do something with the word. And I need to be faithful, watering and planting seeds. But I think there could be a better way to disciple, so that what I'm doing is making disciples who make disciples. And so I think discipleship can be intimidating for a lot of people, and they don't know where to start. And so what I wanted to do was just this one-page suggested framework or a quick guide to how to disciple somebody. So I love your feedback. Here, let me just walk through it. So the Father sent the Son on the mission to seek and save the lost. Jesus then sent us to make and develop Jesus followers. Here is a suggested pathway to begin a discipleship relationship with someone. So the first thing is the who. Prayerfully think about who God has already put in your life. Think about someone who is humble and teachable and hungry. It can be someone that does not yet believe. I think this is key. Like, discipleship starts with people that don't even know Jesus sometimes. So it could be a family member, friend, coworker, neighbor. Or this person could be someone who believes but needs some encouragement and direction to develop in his or her walk with Jesus. So that's the first stage, praying. After that, then invite this person to coffee and express your desire to spiritually invest in them. Inquire with some of these questions. So what I did was put together some questions. You can click on this, but it's basically asking questions around their spiritual background, style of learning, maybe different things they want to see developed in themselves, character, or with parenting or marriage or work. And then spiritual development, just kind of see what they've learned, where they're at, maybe where there's some holes. And then the second page, you can dive more into this, but like, what season or stage of faith are they in? Where do they find themselves in this moment in life? So you can use that as a guide. You don't have to have that necessarily in front of you when you have that initial meetup, but there's some good questions that would be catalytic for conversation in that first conversation. So be a good listener, and then if they're agreeable to you walking with them, finish by setting the parameters, like the context. Is it going to be in person, Zoom, phone, the frequency, weekly or biweekly, and then the length. This is key. So rather than discipling someone indefinitely, your goal is to make disciples who make disciples. So rather than just going from one book of the Bible to another with endless discipleship, where people are kind of just being a hearer, listener, studier of the word, but not a doer of the word, release them to disciple others. And so I put a philosophy of discipleship document here, again, on one page, walking through how Jesus discipled people, and then walking through a passage in 2 Timothy 3 with the specific aspects of how we use the Word of God in discipleship. So then after that, figure out a plan. So they want to meet with you. They want you to invest in them. Figure out a plan. So with the help of another church leader, develop a flexible discipleship plan. Prayerfully review what you've learned during your meetup. Assess where they're at in their journey with Jesus. Only offer what you've already received with Jesus. Like, you're literally inviting them onto a journey with Jesus. Like, follow me as I follow Christ. We're inviting someone to follow us as we follow Jesus. So where are you at on your journey? Where are they at? And try to meet on that path together, so that you're not just teaching them theory, but you're literally inviting them into what you're learning and what you're processing with Jesus as well. So if they're just beginning their spiritual journey, walk through passages about the gospel and ones that have shaped your awareness of God's loving presence. If they are needing to be established in their faith, walk through a foundation of the faith curriculum or a book like Ephesians or 1 John. If they're in a crisis in life or in faith, love, listen, and listen some more. Gently encourage them with scriptures that have comforted you with God's kindness and promises. And so if you click on this link, I'm not going to do it. You can see some sample plans that I've sketched out. So once you do that, then you work the plan. You actually meet up, work the plan, but don't fall in love with the plan. Be prayerfully alert to how the Spirit will guide and redirect. Your time together could include relational connection, prayer, and time in the Word. So, first thing is relational connection. It's a time to grow in your love and connection with one another. Consider using these spiritual conversation prompts as a guide to start or steer your conversation towards spiritual matters. Talk less, listen more, draw the person out. And so these spiritual prompts, there's nothing fancy about them. These are about the Great Commandments, love God, love people, and the Great Commission. And then these dive a little bit more deeply into like, what is your greatest struggle right now, or joy? What invitation is God inviting you into, or how might you be resisting Jesus in that moment? And then discipleship needs to be word-based. Don't do just Starbucks discipleship where you just exchange pleasantries, talk about sports, talk about kids, talk about work. Get in the Word. That's key. The Word is what transforms us. So there's a tendency in discipleship to share human-based wisdom or to be too practical. Discipleship is designed to be based in the Word, looking for God's wisdom and timeless principles. Consider using some of these resources. Again, it's another quick guide. The work of Christ is the only means to change. This is key. Weave the gospel into your discipleship. And so I put yet another quick guide here on how we need to make sure that the gospel is what is bringing change so that we don't get stuck in self-righteous discipleship where we're just telling people, just be better, just improve, just be more like Jesus. Yes, but how? The gospel. Finally, pray. Either pray together or at least share prayer requests from one another. Shepherd the person each day by looking to the chief shepherd. So even when you're not with them, you can still be shepherding them through your prayers. And I love this verse, this example of Epaphras, who labored in prayer for others to stand mature and fully assured in all the will of God. So, prayer is a means to disciple people, even when you're not sitting across the table from them. Pray into them the principles of the Word. Pray that God would shape and change their hearts. That's what's going to bring lasting change. So anyways, I love your feedback on this. Take your time, but love to hear any suggestions or things that need to be changed or reworded or reworked.